Okay, let's discuss goalkeepers and shooting on Pro Evolution 2017. Let's go. Few things are more important to a football game, whether real life or digital, than goalkeepers and shooting. When it's all said and done, that area of the game is what defines the result. So of course it's going to be of some major importance. With that in mind, it's worth noting that a lot of people were unsatisfied with the goalkeepers to varying degrees in PES 2016. They felt like the goalkeepers were quite poor, even the best ones, and that shooting was quite overpowered, especially when you put it hard and in the corners. And for the most part, a lot of people weren't happy with that. They felt the games were too much of a goal fest and less about the actual game and the build-up and the tactical aspect. It was just a case of trying to outscore your opponent on a massive scale. Thankfully, that won't be the case in PES 2017. As you may well know, I was lucky enough to go to Windsor and play an early build of the new game, and I wasn't alone. I was with some great YouTubers. I was with some of the pro players as well. I was there with people like Sepp, Bardinsky, Lily, and also Bad Boy G and Pirate, who are guys in the PES League scene. And one thing we all have in common, we know how to find the back of the net. That being said, all day we played, got used to this game, worked out the mechanics and everything, and honestly I can't remember any goal fests that day. I think the highest scoreline that I remember hearing was actually mine against Sepp. I beat him 4-1. But other than that, there weren't really any mega scoring games. The biggest issue that people had was they felt that the goalkeepers on my club were way too easy. I believe that goalkeepers on my club are capped at regular level, which I guess gives an even platform for players of all abilities to at least get something out of the mode. That being said, even on regular, the goalkeepers were easy. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. They were quite easy to beat. This time round, I played every single game on regular difficulty, even one against the computer, and the game is suitably difficult to score on. Goalkeepers are a lot more intelligent, a lot more agile, and I mean, the teams we played with all had good goalkeepers, but I feel like you'll definitely notice the benefit of better keepers this year round. I played pretty much all of my games with Arsenal and a few with France, and most people I played against use Atletico Madrid. And there is a difference between using Czech and using Oblak. And I can imagine that scales even further when it comes to using lesser keepers like Fabianski, when you know, comparing that to people like Manuel Neuer. You're going to feel a difference. The goalkeeping animations have been greatly improved as well. They don't seem to be locked into a set amount of animations where you know that if they're in a certain position you can beat them with this shot because they're not going to get there in time, they're not going to get down quickly enough. Goalkeepers really are reactive this time round. I didn't hate them on PES 2016, but I could definitely understand people's gripes with them and definitely didn't disagree with them. But this time around, I feel like they've really overhauled it. I spoke to Adam and I spoke to Asim as well, and both of them said that nothing from the goalkeepers in PES 2016 is carried over into the new ones. And I genuinely believe them on that. I played with them and they feel a whole lot different. Low hard shots are not suddenly a silver bullet to score goals anymore. You really do have to choose your shots carefully. And a greater array of shots can be beneficial. I remember there was a game I played with France, and I was up against Germany, I believe. So you know, Manuel Neuer, not a bad goalie, and I was in a goal scoring position. And ordinarily on PES 2016, I'd have tried to hit that into one of the bottom corners. But I had Anthony Martial. I was running through, and I can't remember exactly how I was positioned, but something told me just to try and go near post, try and bend it round the keeper into the top corner. I went for that, and it worked, and it was brilliant, but I didn't feel like the keeper could have done better either. The keeper was at full stretch, timed his jump, timed his reach the way you would expect. and it was just a good shot. Good shots go in. And that is the main thing about the game this year, is that it genuinely rewards quality and ability. Shooting on its own is a lot more realistic. It's harder to do. The mechanics are pretty much the same in terms of button presses. Nothing's really changed like that. But I feel like they've changed the way things like controlled finesse shots work based on your player's position, based on their balance, what foot they're using, that sort of thing. I feel like they've added more variety in that. The animations look a lot better as well. I feel like players choose their shots better. Like, there are a lot of occurrences where, you know, players will shoot with their weaker foot when you feel like, you know, they could have quite easily taken that with their stronger foot, taking it in their stride, that sort of thing. It's a lot more satisfying this time round. It's a lot harder to blast the ball this time round, partly because the ball physics have improved and the balls are slower this time. The game generally is a little bit slower, and also just with the way that the gameplay works, the positioning of the ball compared to your player makes a big difference, and they react to your button press rather than the game just waiting for them to get into an optimal position. So when you choose to shoot is when they will shoot. The game won't let it kind of set for you and, you know, get the player's knee over the ball for you. You've got to time that well. Whether that's deliberate or not, I don't know. I imagine so, and it works. That being said, with a lot more animations both in goal scoring and goalkeeping, you can score some really spectacular goals. I remember Damo from Pez World scored an absolute scorcher from about 30 yards out with Alexis Sanchez, cut in from the left and absolutely just whacked a peach into the top corner. So much so to the point where I told everyone to stop what they were doing and come and look at this goal. The goals are really, really satisfying, and as with the general gameplay, you'll feel the difference between using a top player and just an average footballer. All in all, shooting and goalkeeping greatly improved, and I genuinely think you guys are going to enjoy it. I am. It's going to be harder to do. There's going to be that learning curve and that skill gap, which there should be in a game like this. Last year was definitely catering to the broader audience and allowing everyone to kind of compete with each other. This time round, you'll still get elements of that where, you know, it's not suddenly going to be the most difficult game in the world, but there is scope for you to improve, but you really will have to improve if you want to be playing at the top level. But yeah, those are my thoughts on shooting and goalkeeping in the game. Let me know in the comments what you think about what I've said, what you're looking forward to, how you felt the game was last year, whether you enjoyed it, whether you thought it was too easy, whether you thought it was too hard. Let me know what you think and what you want to see next time round. Stay tuned, I've got some more videos coming up. I'm going to talk about the graphics as well, and some of the other things that have been announced recently in PES 2017. But until then, take care, and I'll see you around. Peace.